Hello. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Gwe, Nin Delawisi Mikjichinum, Aknin Ebegwetnwa Migma. My name is Drew Bernard. My spirit name is Turtle Man. And I am from beautiful Prince Edward Island, a Mi'kmaq man from Prince Edward Island. And it's an absolute pleasure to join everyone here today. And my sincere apologies that I wasn't able to be there in person. It's quite a busy conference season happening now. There's a lot of buzz in the energy sector, and it's a very exciting time to be working in the sector and to be making good things happen within our communities. Um, I started my renewable energy journey back in 2021 when I graduated the Energy Systems Engineering Technology program at my local community college, Holland College. There, I learned about renewable energy and learned that it's so much more than solar panels and wind turbines. I originally wanted to be a wind turbine technician. I found out that I was going to end up being away from my community again, working on wind turbines all across the country, and wanted to pivot to something a little bit more close to home, where I could still work in Prince Edward Island and be working in clean energy. So I stumbled across the Energy Systems Engineering Technology program at Holland College, and it was a picture of someone installing solar panels. And I thought, wow, this is perfect for me. I'm going to be a solar panel installer. I'll start my own company and start doing that. And like I said, when I started to learn about renewable energy, I started to learn that it's so much more than just solar panels or wind turbines. Energy has a place in everything that we do, and it has effects in every other thing that has to do with our communities. And I realized that and decided that I wanted to make a change for my community and start working in energy, advancing energy, and hopefully some positive work in that regard would have ripple effects across multiple different areas of my community. So when I started, we had um, a rooftop solar system on our elementary school, and that was it. And it was actually not running at the time. Um, so we I began by getting an energy opportunity assessment completed. It was a 260-page document that was funded through Indigenous Services Canada, and we basically took a few months to look at all of the opportunities that we had in Lennox Island in terms of renewable energy, um, and highlighting the path forward on where it was best to focus our efforts for renewable energy development in my community. So we were able to complete that document. It was about $60,000 that we spent on that, and then I was able to leverage that document after graduating from my Holland College program to then start working in renewable energy full time for my community. So I went back to Indigenous Services and said, "Look, you spent $60,000 for this document, and now that nothing's going to happen with that document unless I'm able to get some salary funding for myself to be able to work at the nation." So I secured those dollars and went back to the nation and said, "Hey, can I work for you guys for free? I've already secured my salary. I just want to be working in the field that I went to school for, and I want to start making impacts for my communities and utilizing some of the opportunities that we have highlighted through this program." So I began doing work in renewable energy in Lennox Island First Nation, and we began to do some community home energy audits, energy evaluations for all of our homes. We did blanket audits for all of the homes in our community, had EnerGuide labels. Made up for all of those homes. And then we were able to start doing energy efficiency upgrades for all of those homes in our community. We installed 65 heat pumps to begin our heating system electrification. We then started doing some light energy retrofits. So we went in and did air sealing or caulking around some of the open spots in these homes, as well as going around and doing weather sealing or around the or weather stripping, sorry, around some of the the doors in the community, and really starting to hone in on doing some of the deep energy retrofits. We actually recently just procured $300,000 from CMHC to start doing some blown in attic insulation and changing out some of the bad windows and doors that we highlighted during those initial energy audits. But that work was done all back in 2021. So we're now actually doing the oil to heat pump program in our community, where we're installing upwards of 200 heat pumps to fully electrify all the heating systems in our community. We'll then be then able to really start planning in with actual detail on our heating load to create a microgrid, which has always been my dream in my community, is to make our own, self-regulated microgrid where we're producing our own power in our community and selling or giving that power to our own communities. Really, it's up to the community to decide what that is. But yeah, we've been hard at work in Lennox Island. We did a couple level two EV car chargers, and we recently got $1.8 million from the federal government to complete a 37 megawatt solar farm, which at the time is currently the largest planned solar project in Atlantic, Canada. We also have secured an agreement with the provincial government to develop 45 megawatts of wind turbine development in our community. We split that into two phases. We're actually going to be doing a 28 megawatt wind farm, which will be 4 7 megawatt turbines in central PEI. And we just secured $1.5 million in federal funding to do all the pre-development work for our phase two, which would be 5 7 megawatt turbines at a total megawatt of 35 megawatts at our phase two site. We really want to be big independent power producers here in the province and advance our sovereignty as a nation by asserting ourselves as the rightful stewards of the lands and the rightful ones to be developing energy projects in the province. But with that being said, I'm here today to share with you all our Mi'kmaq food sovereignty project that we've done through the ImaGENation program with Indigenous clean energy. Actually, back in 2021, it was actually highlighted in our energy opportunity assessment that getting involved with ICE was a really good way to build capacity within our community. And it was a highly recommended thing for us, like looking at the opportunities that we have as an energy or as a Indigenous First Nation in energy. They said, the best place to build capacity is through Indigenous clean energy if you want to be doing energy project development in your community. So I applied to the Catalyst 2020 program back in 2023 and had just an amazing time, made lifelong friends, some of whom are actually in this ImaGENation cohort with me as well this year. But it really opened my eyes, and for a long time I was really just a lone warrior, like thinking that I was in this alone and didn't really, felt like nobody else had similar struggles to what I was doing, and being brought into the Indigenous clean energy family was such a life-changing opportunity for me. And after the Catalyst program ended, I knew that I didn't want to end my time with Indigenous clean energy by any means. So we sent an application to the ImaGENation program for our Mi'kmaq food sovereignty project. So the Mi'kmaq Food Sovereignty Project is really just enhancements for our greenhouse that was pre-existing in our community. We have a 30 by 60 greenhouse in our community of Lennox Island First Nation. We also have gardens that all surround that. We have a big garden area where we grow traditional medicines as well as different foods, broccoli, spinach, lettuce, tomatoes, all that kind of stuff. And we have a community fridge in our local convenience store, where all this food gets brought to sell to the community at a very, very low cost, really, really fresh vegetables that the community really loves. Anytime it gets posted on Facebook that the fridge has been restocked, everybody runs to the store and it's sold out literally within an hour. So it's really been a really successful thing for us to develop that greenhouse and have it be putting fresh, healthy food into the hands of our people. And we also have a food kitchen now in our community where we do $5 lunches 5 days a week, and they get a lot of their vegetables from our greenhouse and gardens as well. So when I was looking at renewable energy, when we talk about energy Food sovereignty is brought up a lot, and energy plays a big part in food sovereignty in our communities. And so we submitted our project to do upgrades at this existing 30 by 60 greenhouse so that it can really be a year-round operation that can be utilized during all different types of weather events and with clean energy. It may have previously been stated in other presentations that there was a maximum of $50,000 associated with project development for the ImaGENation program. And we started developing this project. We wanted to solarize the greenhouse. We wanted to get heat pumps installed in the greenhouse, and do lots of work to be able to take the onus of operating the actual greenhouse away from the growers and allowing our growers to focus full time on growing the healthy food that they're so good at doing. Um, so we put in the plan and quickly realized that really to get to our dream of what we wanted the greenhouse to be, $50,000 really just wasn't going to cut it. But we were able to leverage that $50,000 from ImaGENation to go to Indigenous Services Canada, to get a top up for us to really realize the full potential of the plan that we had. So we secured an additional $150,000 from Indigenous Services Canada, and we installed a large ground mount solar system right next to it. It's about a 20 kilowatt ground mount solar system on raised racking, called agrivoltaics. So it's a raised racking system, a little bit higher than your typical rack, so that you can actually still cultivate the land underneath it, which is actually really good for shade-resistant crops such as spinach to be able to grow in that shade away from the direct sunlight, and it just kind of gives a different option for soils and growing lights for different kinds of plants, and diversifies the growing area that we have in our greenhouse, as well as electrifying with clean energy the greenhouse. But that was certainly not the end of our plans there at our greenhouse. We really wanted to have full building automation technology so that this greenhouse can be operated sufficiently without any human intervention. So in our plan, we had it in there to put solar in, then move forward with building automation technologies, PLCs, and have this be really like a smart greenhouse that can auto irrigate, auto temperature regulate, and do all those things through computers. So we procured and secured the PLC system just recently, actually, to get that installed. We already installed 2 heat pumps in the greenhouse. We installed the ground mount solar system. We're now just waiting on a new potting shed to be built, where we're going to put additional rooftop solar onto that potting shed. And after which we will be connecting the full system into the grid. There's just been some delays with the building of the actual potting shed. The contractors that we were using to build it had to go to a different job for some emergency, but it's pretty well built. The frames built there. We just needed to be finished up, and then we'll be getting those final rooftop panels on the system, and we'll be able to fully interconnect the full solar system for that. With that, like I said, we have the building automation technologies, but we also are installing the a battery for the potting shed to ensure that there is always power there for backup purposes for our greenhouse, as well as ensuring that we have a new irrigation system installed into the greenhouse. We want this to be, with the PLC, we'll be able to control humidity and temperature within the greenhouse at all times. We installed a brand new exhaust motor on the large exhaust fan in there. And we are soon to be completing the ductwork in there for actually operating all of the HVAC system in tandem with the mini split heat pumps that we have. But we also want to get the irrigation system installed, and it is part of our plan to do so. We have procured the components for the irrigation system, and soon to be installing those systems to really make this a a fully automated greenhouse to be able to be utilized by our growers there. The PLC, of course, it can only turn on different components, and if you want a PLC that is going to automate the building, it needs to have access to the HVAC systems, and it needs an irrigation system that it can access so that it can turn on when it needs additional humidity or turn off when it needs no humidity. But yeah, we're really proud of the work that we've been able to do, and we're so thankful for the ImaGENation program and to really Indigenous clean energy as a whole for empowering our community. And we actually had the Catalyst 2020 program come to Lennox Island First Nation this September and visited our greenhouse and had a look at the ground mount solar system that we had there. I did a full tour around there, and it was a really big success. And it was exciting to share with our catalysts that clean energy clean energy has many different faces and forms. Energy at its core, we use energy within ourselves, and we can use clean energy development as a way to, implement clean power into the food that we're eating and ensuring that that food that we're eating has been grown with clean technology and makes people feel good and makes people feel proud that they were able to have food directly from their own greenhouse in their own community. And it's really been just such an exciting journey to be able to work with our greenhouse and gardens team and to really open my own eyes into how impactful food sovereignty work is as an energy professional, and really diversifying what it means in my head to really be supporting our community. And I just can't recommend enough that anybody that's working in energy, that food sovereignty, it doesn't have to be a separate role. It doesn't have to be a separate thing. Food sovereignty is something that affects our communities in a large way, the same that clean energy does, and we as clean energy professionals can make impacts in the food sovereignties of our people through these developments. But yeah, being part of the ImaGENation program has just been such an honor, such a blessing. Had many great auntie sessions with our in-house auntie Tana, who is actually a resident of Mi'kma'ki here, and it's just been a really wholesome group to be part of, and really a blessing and an honor to have gotten the opportunity to be part of this great program. Indigenous Clean Energy as a whole is an amazing organization, and it's been such an honor to be part of all of these great things happening. And I'm so excited to hopefully welcome many of you to Lennox Island First Nation in the future to have a look at our greenhouse there and the many other projects that we'll be working on throughout the future here. So with that, I'll leave it at that. I guess I don't know if there's any questions or anything like that, but yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, and looking forward to the rest of the day. Thank you.